And we are back to our tournament of Aeon Drive. Unfortunately, Famura has dropped out of this top 64 match, so we are going to watch Alternerd practice and do an exhibition for the next 15 minutes, I think it is, and just watch how they can optimize level 1-7. And hopefully they'll try all the routes to entertain us a bit, but it's going to be a great time to see how a runner thinks, how they approach this game, and what they can do to optimize a specific route. What do you think, Avalon?
I think it's a real shame that we're not going to see a race here, but it'll be a great chance for Alternerd to jump on, and obviously it means that he progresses to the top 32 without having to worry too much. It gives us an opportunity for him to play a course that we played yesterday, or Sunday, sorry, not yesterday. He can go through that course, he can test his time against the other runners, because that leaderboard from Sunday still exists. Those runners are still on it. It's a shame we won't see a Sector 2 level and see some more new things, but it will be interesting to see how this runner tackles a level that we've seen a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is interesting to see the new content, and it's kind of a shame that we won't get to see that. But I do wonder, have the runners been practicing the levels that have already been run, or have they been practicing more newer levels in hopes that one of their further matches will contain one of those instead? It'll be interesting to see what kind of time that Alternerd gets right out of the gate, and maybe we'll be able to figure out what we got there.
Yeah, these Sector 1 levels, they were available in the early build that was sent out to these runners, so they have had a chance to look at Sector 1. I'm not 100% sure at what stage these runners have gained access to other parts. So Sector 2 became available to these guys, to my knowledge anyway, today. However, there has also been other builds available. So for example, the build I had did have additional sectors, so I could look at more so that I could understand more about this game before we went into it. It'll be interesting to know what accessibility the runners had to the later sections in the game. Because like I said, this tournament build they're on now is slightly different to the one that went out as a development build.
Wow, that movement there was pretty impressive. Jumping underneath these blocks and using the warp dash dagger to get up there. That was like, because normally you're like, yeah, let's jump on top of these platforms and slowly make our way across. No, not for these runners. This is just some insane timing. Also getting past that lava bar, that horizontal lava bar, to just hit it right at the right moment and not get killed there.
Yeah, you can see the range of the dash knife really starting to affect people. I think I'm going to call it a dash dagger. Dash dagger sounds cool. We're going to go with that.
It does sound cool. Yeah, I like that. I like dash dagger.
But you can see the range of the dash dagger affecting the run here, as unfortunately Alternerd, as he threw his knife up, he doesn't quite get to that top platform. You can do this in 2 knife throws. He's done it just now, and we've seen it be done previously, and you can see how fast that is as a beginning to the level. But then obviously you've got to work out how everything else is misaligned and what's going on as you go forward. This lava bar that you pointed out earlier is higher when you get through faster, so you have to consider that in what you're doing next. But you've also, like I say, you've got to balance the range of the dash knife. There again, just falling short, which results in a very, very burnt foot.
I think I remember this level. I remember that beginning and the 2 dash daggers versus the 3 that some of the runners did. And it was the fastest route, as I recall. And it'll be interesting to see how close Alternerd gets to that time that was set by the other runners.
Exactly, yeah. Wow. And of course we'll be able to see those runners' times when he successfully completes the level, when we actually get to the end goal. And Alternerd puts his timer down. We'll actually be able to see how he's compared to those other runners, and actually what times can we expect to see in this level. He has still got, like I said, we're not really timing it, this is a bit more casual, but we're still going for about 10 minutes to see how he gets on. So it'll be interesting to see just how close he can get, and then we can start, making our speculations. A lot of these guys are new to the scene, and therefore there's not really favourites. I couldn't have possibly told you who was the favourite out of Pidgeot and Unsmile. I know what times they got in their qualifying rounds, but that doesn't mean anything in this game, because, like I said, we've got the mentality of racing alongside the infancy of the game. We don't know what's going to happen to these people, and that's what makes it so much fun to watch this early on.
Indeed. It's so exciting to be involved with the release of a new game like this, and just to see where our runners go, how much they improved times, how much they can compete with the community and get further on. Wow, and that was a fast run.
Yeah, what was that?
Goodness.
7.3 seconds? 7 point, I think.
There was such a struggle with.
Quite catch it.
I didn't either. There was such a struggle before with trying to get the dash dagger through that gap, and it was exciting to see Alternerd finally get it through there and just have that seamless, smooth run there to get a really decent time. Hopefully, they will look at the scoreboard once again, the leaderboard, and so we'll get to see that high score.
Yeah, the back-end stats guys have said it came through at 7 seconds, 0.28, which is very, very fast. But obviously we don't know what the other runners have done. We don't know what they achieved, because Alternerd showing us just how quick his inputs are by immediately closing that high scoreboard, and we just didn't get the opportunity to compare.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that we didn't get to see it longer, but Alternerd is here to win and just practice and try to get better at the game, and this is their chance to show how good they are as a speedrunner. And that's one thing that you might consider if you are enjoying this stream, is follow some of our runners so that you can watch them in the future, because these folks are going to be the new leaders in playing this game. And if you're enjoying the speedruns, check them out so that you can kind of keep tabs on what they're doing and see who can create the best content on this game. Great.
Yeah, all I'm hearing is when you say keep tabs on what they're doing, I'm hearing watch their routes so you can get faster ones. We need to make sure that we keep beating these speedrunners down. We need faster times from each and every one of you until this game is being run in, we're talking less than 5 seconds per course. That's what I want to see. That is my challenge to the speedrun community over the next year. Everyone pick this game up on Thursday, and I want sub 5 second times on every course on that.
On
leaderboard.
Every course? Are you sure that's not
Every
unreasonable?
Course. No, nothing I've ever asked of this community is unreasonable.
You know, and that's actually kind of what the speedrun community does. I know you've talked many times about other games and how runs have been improved by hours. Obviously, this game is a little bit shorter in length for each level or each area, so we probably are not going to shave hours off of each time. but there are many seconds to be saved with optimizations and just figuring out how to do things, because I think we probably haven't seen everything, and we also have done many commentaries on Super Mario Maker 2 where people find out new tech or how to interact with blocks. Like for an example, maybe you can jump on the edge of a block that's going upward, or maybe there's some tiny pixels that you can grab a hold of if you get the very, very most perfect inputs. So I want to see those kinds of things come to light, and maybe we are going to get a sub 5 on every level.
I really believe that this community can do it, and that's one of the groups of people that are often not celebrated enough in the speedrunning community, is the people that they break apart the games, they find these optimizations using stats and numbers and other technical things, and then they inform the runners to do it. So maybe people that maybe they don't have the dexterity to do it themselves, or maybe they do it themselves as well and they just want to share it with the community. But like you say, in this game there might be some weird interaction where you can throw a knife through like that little angle there. There's like a tiny little angle where it looks like there's a pixel gap. Maybe if you line it up properly you can get that gap through there, and when those sort of technical people get their hands on this level, we'll see how fast they go through. And that as well was insanely fast, as I was talking about speed. 777. Oh no, they have cleared the leaderboard. No!
Oh no! But that was one of the good examples there, is that when Alternerd threw the dagger, I don't know if it looked like it was through that tiny gap. It did look like Alternerd phased through some walls. And it was kind of like, wow, that's interesting. I wonder if they can replicate that and kind of get further on and kind of go through these spaces in I don't know. I'm just mesmerized. Pardon my English. It is not even functioning anymore.
That's the problem. When you watch people going through this fast, is your brain's trying to keep up with what they're doing. I can only imagine how fast Alternerd's brain is having to work just to keep up with the inputs and the movement of the character. I know I'm struggling just to watch it at times, especially when there's two of them on the screen, and playing it, you're always having to think about what your fingers are doing. And like you said earlier, a lot of it comes down to muscle memory, to the point where it's literally second nature to these guys and how they get through these levels.
Indeed. Wow, and that seemed like a very long distance warp dash there. Or warp dash dagger. No, dash dagger distance. That's what I meant. Oh my goodness. We're still kind of looking at the terminology. I think the official name is teleportation dagger. Is that correct?
That was the name that I was given. I can't remember what they call it in the tutorial, but it's linked to the robot voice that you occasionally hear pop up. The storyline in the game is there, and it's ready to go for when the game releases on Thursday. But I'll be honest, I don't care about storyline. I just care about speed. Stories slow me down.
That's right, yeah. But luckily, once you've been through the story, you do not have to read it again. You can just play the levels to your heart's content and see where you get through them all. I do love the atmosphere of this game, though. I have to say, look at the background, the many layers of the buildings in the background. If you can take your eyes off the mesmerizing speedrunning, the pixel art is just fabulous, and you have these layers in the back that kind of move at different speeds as Alternerd is going across the screen, making it seem like a real city. But of course, Avalon, you probably don't care about that because, again, that's not speed. You're not caring about the background, you care about the lava bars and the dagger points.
The speed is definitely great, but I absolutely agree with you. It's so great to see such a dynamic background with such beautiful pixel art. I mean, there you've got the dancing lady on the billboard, you've got cars flying around this city. It feels so alive and so lived in. Like you said, you've got the layering, so you can feel like a depth to it, and it just makes it feel more immersive, and you feel more engaged in it. And although there is some repeated sprites, it's very rare that you see it, and that's why I was so excited to get the opportunity to show off the Sector 2 in those first couple of runs, because there's 10 sectors to this, all of them having their own unique theming. So there's so many different opportunities to look at this game as you progress through it when you get your hands on it on Thursday. It's going to be awesome just to see all of the little details in the pixel art. Like, someone somewhere, because people do this with video games all the time, someone somewhere is going to find out what language those signs in the background are in. They're going to translate it. Even if it's a created language for this game, they're going to find it, they're going to translate it. There's going to be some hidden code in which lights are on and which lights are off in the skyscrapers or something. People will find it, the developers just need to put a tiny breadcrumb in and they'll find it. And that's why this level of detail that's going to the background, as much as it doesn't help the speed, it does help the game, and it is beautiful.
Indeed, we are now informed that we need to go to intermission so that we can prepare for the next match. We hope you have enjoyed this exhibition of Alternerd, and we are going to see you there.